Hey everybody, I'm PJ from Princess Craft RV. Today we're gonna look at the Wolf Creek 850. Now this is one of my favorite campers for two reasons. One, I love these bold graphics. The other, well, it's lightweight. It's truly lightweight. This truck camper can fit on a long bed or a short bed. Not the 5.5 foot beds, but the 6.5 all day long. Now, another great thing, a short bed truck camper can have a generator built into this. And I mentioned lightweight. On the brochure, it's gonna say it weighs a little over 2,000 pounds, but there is a mandatory Wolfpack package on this. And what that is that's a few extra features that they put in every one of the Wolf Creeks, and it's gonna weigh a little over 300 pounds. So really, a true weight on this, equipped without the options, is going to be a little over 2,300 pounds, but still, that's really lightweight. With the generator, all of the solar, all of the things you could add to this, it could weigh just a hair more, but that gives you an idea of whether this would fit your truck. All right, so much to talk about. I want to go inside and get started. Now coming in, I'm not going to tell you this is the most spacious camper I've ever been in, but I mean, it's not bad. Remember, this is a lightweight truck camper. Sitting right here at the end of the dinette, I mean, I've got the kitchen in front of me. This is 6 feet long. So when you drop this table down, take the poles out and make it into a bed, it makes a nice sleeping area for an adult. You can even remove the back cushions, and then you've got a pretty wide space here. Now the table, it's got this nice kind of swirly granite look, maybe a marble, and I love the neutral colors in here. I always think that's great for a small space because then you get to put your own colors in here. The table, when you're sitting right here, yeah, it's not a huge table, but hey, you don't want it in your way. So it slides out in case you need a different workspace here. It's double poled. It's a little stiff here. It's double poled so that it doesn't move around. It's pretty sturdy. If you've got a computer you're working on or doing something like that, it's gonna do just great. So a table isn't something that I use a lot when I'm camping, but if it's something you need, yeah, it's here and it's not in your way. Now, did I mention that there is no slide out on this truck camper? That is one way they keep the weight so low. Now, so you've got to make use of every piece of space. If you've got two people you need to sleep, one of them's maybe slightly smaller, you might try the bunk up here. Let's take a look at that. If you don't need the bunk, it can be a great cabinet space. But to use the bunk, you simply unhook these latches right here and fold this down, and you get a nice sleeping area. Again, 6 feet long. So that is going to take care of that extra sleeping for maybe the younger folks. The big window makes it feel really nice. Now, because of the camera, we've got a shade down here, but you do have two nice windows right here in the dinette. That makes it feel pretty open. Now, right up above, you've got the nice Coleman Mach air conditioner. This one is 11,000 BTU. Now, why 11,000? Because you've got the generator that is an option on the short bed only. We'll talk a little more about that later. All right, move over here to the bathroom. Now, this bathroom has a nice latch on it and a sliding door. When you're in a smaller space, you always want to have the sliding door instead of a door that opens. Obvious reasons, takes up less space, makes maneuvering a lot easier. You do step up into this because in a truck camper, you can't have a lot of things hanging off the back. There isn't that much space. So the tanks are underneath the toilet and the bathroom area here. So there is quite a big step up. Well, they also put a built-in step in case you need that. Right here, it just folds right down so you can step right up into this bathroom and makes it easy, right? The bathroom is a relatively small wet bath, but it works and has everything you need. The nice skylight, even though you step up, makes it almost 6 feet right here in the center. You've got the towel rack, you've got the covered toilet paper, and the mirror right here that opens up for a medicine cabinet. You've got counter space. a small sink, shower, the best part, a porcelain toilet. That's right, it adds a few more pounds, but that gives you the quality that Wolf Creek is looking for. Stepping out of the way here, I want to point out the most important thing in this small bathroom, and that is the sides, the bottom, the countertop, the sink. It's all a one-piece mold. None of those seams you have to worry about leaking or caulking. It is a one-piece bathroom. That's super nice, especially in a wet bath. All right, let's slide this door. And just underneath, to the left of this nice little step. Now, I have to admit, shag carpet isn't my favorite, but in a camper, as accents, it's kind of great because it doesn't show seams, doesn't show dirt, doesn't show the wear and tear. To the left, you've got a 110 plug, of course, the center lights here, and the power awning button right there when you walk in the door. The other thing that's kind of a reach in when you open the back door is the open cupboard right here on the right. Now that's going to have the fire extinguisher in it, but there's also space to just drop your keys, maybe anything else quick that you just want to put in here and be accessible really quickly by opening the door. That's where I'd keep my remote for the electric jacks as well. All right, let's move on to the kitchen. There's a lot more to see. This isn't a really large space, but the kitchen is really where all the action is, kind of just like your house, right? So all the controls are right here on the wall, the cooking, the storage, it's all right here. Let's start with the pantry. Now this pantry, you open it up, it's a tall, narrow space. It does have hanging at the top, but you could put shelves in there if you wanted. To the right of that, the microwave is on the top. Now the microwave is standard and the oven is not. It's a little different, so you just want to pay attention if one of those is more important to you than the other. Down below, I really appreciate the way they have done this countertop. It is a molded countertop. And then you've got the matching backsplash here on both sides. In a camper, you don't realize the mess you can make. And I love having that easily cleanable. Another thing that they do here that's super nice is you have places for knives in the back. It's always tough to find a good drawer for that, but they have a slot right here. You can stick all your knives in the back. They live there, not going to be in anybody's way. Glass top on this stove, just fold it back, and you've got the 3-burner Furrion stove. The lighted dials. Now that light you can turn off right here if you want. You don't have to have it on all the time. We just like to show you that that's there. And between these lighted dials and the light that's on the hood vent, I really think that's a great ambient light at night when you don't want the overheads glaring in your eyes. Next to the microwave is some nice storage right up here. Now that can be the major part of your pantry, I'm guessing. And you could turn it into shelves, you could put it any way you want, but it is about 15 inches deep and 2.5 feet wide. So you've got a lot of space. I always mention the light because I love light right here over the counter where I'm working. Now, to the right of the sink here, you have all the controls. At the top, the Jensen stereo, and it's everything you would expect. AM, FM, and it's got the Bluetooth. You can put your Sirius radio on it, whatever it is you need, right there at the top. To the right of that, that is the thermostat for the air conditioner on the roof, and below, the controls for the power fan that's over the bed. Now that's really nice because you can take that with you. It is a remote, and you know, you may not want to get up out of bed to turn things on and off or adjust it, or you might be sitting at the dinette. So that is a nice feature. The control panel here has the water pump, the porch light, the cab overlights, all those things you would expect. And of course down below, the water heater, the 110, and the gas, because this does have a 6-gallon gas and electric water heater. Right down here, you'll see the controls for the generator on the outside. You don't have to go outside and do anything. You just push the button and the generator comes on. Now, that's going to tell you the hours on it, so you'll be up on your maintenance. You want to do that. Of course, at the very top, you have the monitor panel that's going to tell you what's in your fresh, gray, and black tanks. 33-gallon fresh. You do have a 19-gallon gray and a 20-gallon black, and you can see where you are right here at the top. All right. I want to point out the 110 plug on the left side because they do such a great job here. There is one down by the dinette, one right here, and then on both sides of the bed. So every place you would need it. All right, let's come down and take a look at the sink. The cover here is another, it's a molded top on it, and I just love that it matches the countertop. It gives it a finished look. Your sink doesn't stick out as part of your decor. And they use the nice, large brushed stainless steel sink. It's about 8 inches deep. It is probably, I don't know, 15 inches across. Really nice size here with a high faucet, 2 handles. Works great in this camper. Right above me is something that you might not know about. It is a pre-wire for Wi-Fi. Now, if you wanted to put in your own router, your own gateway up there, you can do that. Just ask your dealer for all the details. Just know that when this says Wi-Fi, it means that it's pre-wired and it's ready for you to set up. Now down below, this does not have the 17-inch oven, but it has the pull-out drawer. So this is a nice deep drawer, great for pots and pans, really just about anything you'd want to put in here. So that is an advantage to not having the oven. And to the right, 2 smaller drawers. Of course, these are both the same size. They're kind of silverware size, about 3 inches deep, but drawers are the best way to use that space. Right down below, the forced air furnace is right here. It's going to be in the center of the camper. It's going to keep this camper nice and toasty in the winter. And under the sink, you've got a little more space here for a trash can, maybe some cleaning products. That's generally what we see in this space. And let's take a little bit of a closer look in here because this is where you can access the plumbing behind your water heater. You can also access the battery disconnect switch. Now, when you want to use your battery disconnect switch, that is only when you are storing your camper. And why? Because that is going to really disconnect everything in the camper. Nothing's going to be able to charge. So if you lose all the power in your camper from your batteries, you might want to check that switch. It might have gotten turned accidentally. All right, everything is right there, very accessible with a little bit of storage space. And down below, the converter here. Now, as you probably know, the converter is going to trickle charge your batteries. It also is going to take the shore power and convert it to 12 volt. So that is a good piece of equipment. You always want to be sure everything's working. And if you're having electrical issues, you always check your breakers and fuses. Now, to the left of that is something that we don't see a lot in truck campers anymore. And that is access into the bed. There is another one just across from it underneath the refrigerator here. Now, that is a great place to store maybe wet clothes, boots, shoes, anything extra. But it's going to be in the bed of your truck. And you just close that, put it right out there. Now, that is a great feature. When you get a larger basement on these larger truck campers, that's not accessible. It really doesn't work. Because this one is low profile, that gives you the access into the bed. Remember, you always need to unload that before you unload your camper because it can tear things, rip things, obvious reasons. All right, let's take a look one more place. There's some cool little storage in here. A lot of people think this might be where your batteries belong, but it is open storage for anything you'd want to store there. Tools, maybe a few pieces of extra gear that you don't use very often, very accessible. And that nice shag carpet to hide the fact that it's a compartment there. All right, the carbon monoxide LP detector is just underneath. Let's look at this refrigerator because in this camper, you have a nice size Furrion refrigerator. Let's take a look. Now this guy is going to be running on 12 volt. Don't worry, it's a compressor-driven refrigerator. If you're not familiar with them, they use a fraction of the power. They get cold in about 2 hours, and they give you lots of space. This refrigerator is an 8 cubic foot. That's huge. This camper used to be built with a 5 cubic foot refrigerator, so that's a great upgrade in the 2024 model. All right, there's a drawer right underneath. It's about 4 or 5 inches deep. It's got some gear in it now, but again, you can use it for anything. And below that, what I mentioned before, which is the access to the outside. Now, there's a little more space right in here. If you fold that down, you can see that there's a nice compartment there for storage. You know, in a truck camper, you don't want to waste a single inch of storage. So hopefully that gives you an idea of where you can store things in the base of this camper. Let's take a look in the bed area because you've got this nice queen bed right up here. And stepping up here, it's a little bit of a step, but not bad. I can do it pretty easily. If you need a little extra step, it'd be easy to do right down there. The height here, a little tighter than some. So you might want to keep that in mind. If you're not going to sit up in bed and you're going to be sitting up down here, you've got plenty of space because the base of this is 6'6" tall. Storage right here on the left, a nice cabinet and hanging rods in all of these, which is super nice. You will also see the base legs in the bottom of this, and that is for putting the table down to make a bed on the dinette. Now to the right, what you're going to see here is a nice storage spot to clip in your countertop extension. The countertop extension drops right where my feet are, comes right across here, and gives you more cooking space. Now that countertop extension may not be something you want to leave up after you prep for your meal, because it's difficult to open the refrigerator door and it blocks the step up into the bed. But if you need more cooking space, great addition, and it stores away when you're not using it right inside that cabinet. Let's look on the other side. You've got an open cabinet that goes down probably 6 inches there, so a nice open reach-in space, and a cabinet right here at the top. The 19-inch TV right here on the back side swivels around so you can see it from the dinette or the bed, and it is an option, so be sure to ask for that if you're looking at the Wolf Creek at your dealership. Windows on both sides, that's huge. Now, there are some manufacturers that are going to put a giant wardrobe over here, but then you're not going to have the windows on both sides to give you that pass-through breeze. I love that. I love the light. I love the openness, the airflow. It's a great feature to have. So be sure you look for that in a truck camper because that makes a difference when you're up here in the cab over area. Now up at the front, let's take a look at the storage up there. Up here at the front, both sides of the bed are identical. So there's no fighting over who gets which side or who needs special features. It's super easy and it's easy to video. So let's start right over here. Inside the cabinet, there is the hanging bar at the top, so you've got another hanging space. And, you know, so many people turn this into shelf storage. I bet you have an idea for that if that's what you need. Now, right next to it, you've got 2 USBs and the 110 plug. So if you've got a CPAP or you simply want to charge your phone, it's going to be on both sides for you. Now, down below, there is a carpeted base here. So you've actually got space right here where you could put more bins, more storage, or simply the book and your glasses after you finish reading. You've also got another shelf right above you. Right here, that is surprisingly large. It's not very tall, maybe 4 or 5 inches, but it's about 7 inches deep. So it's a pretty big space up here. You can fit a lot of things that maybe you just want to have accessible to grab and go. Reading lights on both sides, really nice, just a push button to make them come on and off. And power fan right here at the top. Remember I mentioned those windows because you turn on this power fan, you're going to get a nice breeze across the bed. Maybe you don't need to bring that fan that you trudge everywhere with you. So, I don't know, a really nice, comfortable space up here. For a small truck camper, this is a winner. It has everything you need. Now, let's go outside because there is a lot to see out there on this Wolf Creek 850. Now I'm sitting down at the back of this because there is so much to see here. We might be here a while. I am sitting on what they call the Fox Landing, and it's a nice space. When you're camping, you might want to sit down as well. If you're towing something, the steps come out the side, really easy. I'll show you at the end how it folds up. But I did want to point out right over here on the back of the camper, it's full of stickers. You've got the 30 years. Yes, Northwood's been doing this for 30 years. This is not their first rodeo, folks. They constantly improve their campers. Over here on the left, it says all conditions unit, 4 seasons. So this is meant to be in cold weather, hot weather. They do have thermal pane windows on it. Down below, it says Sol X4. That means that every camper comes with 400 watts of solar on the roof. Wow. You can expand to 600 if you want. It is an option on their build sheet. But standard with 400 watts of solar, you cannot beat that. Now, right here is the generator. It is built into this camper. Now, this truck camper can go on a short bed or a long bed, like I said in the beginning. But if you have a long bed, your bed comes all the way out to this back wall, so there is no space for a generator. You can only put that generator in on a short bed truck. So you'll want to build it with the short box and the generator if that's what you're interested in. And to access it, this just folds up out of the way, clips into place here, and then you can get to the generator right down below. So everything is here, but remember it's a push button start on the inside. It is the Onan 2500i LP generator. If you open this little hatch here, it's a great space to store that sewer hose. And power awning. Wow. Power awning, you just push the button, it's just above the entry door, and this awning comes out like 7 feet. And there's a light at the end. So just like a large travel trailer, you've got all the comforts and the shade right outside your door. So let's keep going. There is a gas port right down there. Now that gas port is for if you want to set up your grill right out here under that awning, have a nice cooking space. And swing out handle that just folds back into place. Right above me here, you can see it's pre-wired for a backup camera. It's not going to come with that backup camera, but very easy for your dealer to add that. I like the light on the back that's on the right-hand side. So you've got the camera in the center. Very often they're kind of in the way of each other. Now, right over here, you have a 110 plug. You might need to put out some party lights or anything else. And down below, there is an access door. That is going to be your tank poles to dump your gray and your black right in here. And you'll also see access to low point drains. Now, coming around the corner, you'll be able to see those same things inside this door. This gives you a little bit of storage, but also you can reach them from this side. That's a nice feature. Now, I think right now is a good time to mention the graphics. I love the graphics on this camper. It is bold, it is out there, it's not what you normally find on a lightweight camper. So right up here is propane, 2 5-gallon tanks, and they're not horizontal. At one point they were, but I love the stand-ups. They not only are easy to exchange if you want to do that, and to refill and to get in and out. Moving on, right up here, you've got access to some plumbing there, nothing you're going to need on a regular basis. And below here is the batteries. Now, this can hold 2 Group 27 batteries, but it could also hold 2 lithium. And that might be my consideration since this has 400 watts of solar on the roof. That's going to make it really easy to stay off the grid for a day or two. All right, moving on, your 30 amp plug goes right here, and just underneath in this nice little electrical plug enclosure is the connections in case you have a portable satellite or a cable TV access. Center of gravity, I love that they mark that. Now that is where you want to be, right in the middle of your axles or just in front of it. Now with this camper, the way it's designed, you're not going to have any trouble with that. Now, just under here, you'll also see that that's where your city water connects. If you're going straight from the hydrant into the camper, it's just underneath here. And furnace outlets here and outside shower. So this is hot and cold outside shower. You know, you may need to rinse off at the beach, Maybe you're just one of those who likes an outside shower. Water heater, remember it's gas and electric, and filling that 33-gallon freshwater tank. Don't want to get those confused. Nice size tank for a camper this size. Now, on this camper, I want to point out that they do a nice fiberglass cap on it. That's unusual in a camper this size, but they do such a nice job. Now that's going to protect you from wear and tear. It's going to be a lot sturdier than just a fiberglass wrap that gets kind of moved with the wind. So this is a good solid front on this camper. Let's talk briefly about electric jacks. If you're not used to campers, you may not know that electric jacks make it so easy to load and unload. All you need to do is grab your remote, raise it up in the air, back under it, and drop it down. It's easy to load and unload, so you can drop it off your truck when you're camping, use your truck to go anywhere you want, load it back on when you're ready to leave. So if you have questions about that, lots of videos out there showing you how to load and unload a truck camper. Don't be afraid of that. I can load and unload the biggest truck camper 10, 12, maybe 15 minutes on a bad day. It's not hard. All right, another center of gravity sticker and a beautiful view of these awesome graphics. So much to talk about on this Wolf Creek. If there's something I haven't covered, please let me know. I'm PJ from Princess Craft RV. I'll see you next time.